Temptation is everywhere over the holidays, but this is how you get all 3 cats to be in your videos. So welcome to day 77 of my weight loss diary. This week I'm going to try and reduce this number by weighing in on video. But first I'm going to tell you how I got back on track after the holidays. Are over, you're probably feeling like a bit of a chonk like my friend Jupiter here. You probably ate more than you wanted to over the holidays with the intent of sticking with your diet. It can be challenging after eating poorly to get started, but once you get started, after a few days you're going to feel fine. So I'm going to give you 3 tips that I use to get back on track this week. The first thing is just knowing you're going to be hungry and powering through that hunger by choosing when you eat. One technique is to do intermittent fasting. What it is just choosing a small window of time that you will eat. So for me, whenever I've done this in the past, I might not let myself eat first thing in the morning. I'll only eat between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. That limits my time frame to 8 hours that I'm eating, and therefore if I just consider it out of the picture, the idea of eating outside that time frame, then I will be more successful, because if you just continue to eat through the night or you're eating first thing in the morning, you're just going to end up eating more calories that way. I find it works best for me to eat less earlier in the day, just because it can be very challenging to go to bed if you're feeling really hungry. So I know that a lot of you have probably heard that, oh, don't eat right before you go to bed kind of stuff. I don't know. I'm just talking about what works for me and what might work for you. I've found that if I'm really hungry before I go to bed, I'll have trouble sleeping. Another thing that helps me power through whenever I am feeling very hungry the first few days of getting back on track is setting up times that I can eat. If I have predetermined times that I can eat, and I'm not doing the intermittent fasting between 10 and 6, I can just be like, okay, I'm gonna eat, breakfast at 9 a.m. I'm gonna eat lunch at 1 p.m. I'm gonna eat dinner at 6 p.m. and sticking with those times and avoiding the snacking in between. So for example, I was feeling really, really hungry and I just felt like I needed to eat something. I would just be like, okay, that's fine, I'm hungry, but I'm not gonna eat anything until 5 p.m. That kind of helps me stay on track to not allow myself to eat. So really just, powering through by setting up predetermined times to eat can help you get back on track, because after you've done it for a few days, you're going to be back in a routine. You're going to feel better about eating in a deficit. And once you've been doing better for a few days, you're going to feel a little bit lighter on your feet, like little Bibby here. It's going to start to get easier. So I'm going to tell you the number 2 thing that can kind of pair with the number 1 thing that I gave to help stay on track, and that is distractions. Distractions can help you so much whenever you are trying to avoid overeating or eating in a deficit, because you're going to be hungry during this time, and if you're constantly thinking of food, it can be kind of torturous. So a few things that I do to distract myself are I work on a project. Like, for example, whenever I was working on the upstairs project a few weeks ago, that helped me not think about food because I was so focused on getting the project done. I'm busy using my hands, I'm using my brain, I'm staying busy doing that. And so it is a lot easier. Time passes and you don't think of food as often. Another thing that I do to distract myself is I will go for a walk. Yes, it's cold as crap outside. It's not super desirable, but if you put on the proper amount of layers, it's not so bad. It was 30 degrees, windy as hell yesterday, and I went walking with Jeff, and it killed, a good hour of time, and in addition to that, I'm being active, so I'm burning more calories. But if you're not feeling particularly active or motivated in those ways, another distraction that you can use that can prevent you from eating is to play video games. Watching TV, it's easy to sit there and eat, in between and do all that because you're not using your hands. But if you're playing video games, then you're going to be busy, focusing on the game. And you're not going to be thinking about food, you're going to be engrossed in the story. So what I did is, after New Year's, after the holidays, there was a big sale on the PS4 site and I rebought Skyrim. And so I've started playing Skyrim and it's been great. because everyone loves Skyrim if you're a gamer. And I have a distraction from eating. So that's, another thing that's helped me. So after practicing these habits, you're going to start to feel slim, like Sasha here. And it's going to get easier as the week progresses. Another thing that can help to get through this week is whenever you're making your foods, to make some of your lower calorie foods that you like. So a way to make those foods lower calorie and to make them more filling is just to cram them full of vegetables. So say you like a food a great deal. For example, like we all like pasta, right? Pasta is delicious. So how about you go ahead and have pasta, but just, cram a bunch of extra vegetables in it. Make a pasta with broccoli, and the ratio of broccoli is greater than the pasta. Yeah, I know it's not quite the same, but it's still very satisfying and it's going to help you feel full. One thing that I've learned recently when I visited my friend Laura is I learned the wonders of ramen. So I had never had ramen, and I know that makes me a weirdo, but she had this lower calorie vegan ramen that was like only 200 calories for a whole package. And I could turn that into 2 meals. So what I do is just cook up the ramen, and then in a separate pan, I cook up some broccoli, some mushrooms, some onions, whatever vegetables I choose. I do put a little seasoning with the vegetables, but mostly the ramen packet seasoning is enough to cover the vegetables. And then I can make that into 2 meals. So only 100 calories worth of the ramen noodles, and then a bunch of calories of healthy vegetables. And it's very satisfying, filling. It's not something that I'm like, oh, I gotta eat this food. It's tasty. So that's it. That's 3 things that have helped me get started again after eating poorly over the holidays. So the first one is, just powering through by setting up times that you can eat and having a structure to when you can eat, or limiting the space of time that you eat. The second one is to have distractions, whether it be healthy or considered unhealthy distractions. So like, doing a project, playing video games, or going for a walk. And the third thing that's helped me keep on track is just the meal prep and just making the lower calorie foods by cramming extra vegetables in. Hopefully these things that have helped me might help you jumpstart your weight loss in the new year. I started the week at 161.2 and I ended the week at 159.8. So I'm back on track. I'm back in the 150s. Glad that the holidays are over, so there'll be a lot less temptation around. It hasn't been that super difficult, but there definitely was an adjustment whenever you eat poorly and then you start eating healthy again. It usually takes like 3 days where you feel like, you're pretty hungry because you got used to eating too much. I'm pretty happy with the results this week because I actually ate out twice this week. I had gone to the Mexican restaurant with Jeff one day, and last night I ate Indian food with my husband's side of the family. I was a little worried that my weight was gonna be high this morning just because of that. But I did stay within my calorie range every day. I was right on track at 1,500 calories on average. So hopefully next week I will continue to go down. 159.2 is the lowest I've been in probably at least 15 years, and I had achieved that earlier this year in February. So I'm getting close to that, and I really would love to get below 159. So I'm hoping that that happens this week or next. I just have to stay on track, and hopefully I'll have some good results. Do you see what's going on here? I'm afraid he's going to hit my mouth. And there it goes. So thanks again for watching, everyone. You can see Bibby here is a bit of an attention whore, but he's a pretty good co-star. But anyway, thanks again for watching, everyone. Please take a moment to like and subscribe. I post every Monday at 2:30 p.m. If you guys would like to share anything that helps you stay on track or helps you to lose weight, please comment below, and I look forward to your feedback. Thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.